Got triggered in the car.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
Over here.
You think so?
Yes.
Are we on? All right, we're on.
Hello.
Hello.
Do I have? Is my mic on?
Your mic's on.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't even hear myself.
Gene, turn up the headphones.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, there. I can hear myself.
All right, we're on.
Okay.
All right, good. Hey, welcome to the WEIS CRACKIN show. It is, let's see, the 21st?
Yeah. It's the 21st of May. It's almost
Already.
June already.
Almost June.
I know.
Gene, is my mic on? All right. I can barely hear myself in my head.
I can hear you.
I can hear other voices, just not my own.
Are you hearing voices again?
I am. Yeah, it's time to take my meds again.
Yeah, you better do that.
I don't know what happened to way up here. My allergies are killing me right now. Like,
I think you're allergic to me.
I'm allergic to your car.
Oh.
Anyway,
Okay.
so where are we? Game of Thrones.
Yes, we're in mourning. Game of Thrones is over, so now we don't know what we're going to do with our lives.
Right. Well, we have other stuff to catch up on.
Our lives are over.
No, not so much. Not so much.
No, but as far as shows go, is there any other show that appeals to you as much as this show does?
No,
or
when you
did?
got me into this, what was it, last year?
Yeah,
I was
last
late
year,
coming onto the show. Apologize to everybody.
when we first met.
Right.
It was almost 2 years ago.
Right.
So when we first met, and I said, you would call me on the phone, and I'd say, listen, I can't talk to you right now. Paulie and I are watching Game of Thrones.
I'm like, Game of Thrones.
And you're like, Game of Thrones, that sounds stupid. I don't watch shows about
I
games.
didn't say sound stupid.
Yes, you said I wouldn't be interested in that.
Plus, I had
no interest to see that. And then you were one of those people who posted, I have never even seen one episode.
I was
Game
one of those
Thrones,
people. I was.
and I'm proud of it. And we, of course, were saying douchebag behind your back.
Like, douchebag. What an idiot. Why even bother dating him? But
Paulie, every time you call Paulie, look at the phone, be like, don't answer it.
don't answer the phone.
You know.
Yeah, that's not a problem with little people. They're like my kryptonite.
And I did, and I said this
But
show.
Tyrion's one of my absolute favorite.
Well, I
Peter
said
Dinklage, yeah,
this show
He's
will
amazing.
cure you of that. Will
He's
cure
amazing.
you of your fear of little people
Absolutely.
with their little fingers.
No, it's good. It's good. Very good.
Yeah.
Gene, how's the audio back there? All right. Sorry, we have a guy working aboard the other rooms. He's old and infirm, so.
David, that's rude right now. I'm going to spank him later for that.
Hey, you make us.
Oh, you know what? You
thank
got to
so
hand me my
much,
drink over there.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to sit over there, but
All right.
I don't want to be a
So
giant.
we're going to talk about season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Well, we can recap things from
We can
other
recap.
seasons,
We can
too.
recap too.
Yeah.
But where are we? Let's see. King's Landing is destroyed.
Well, first of all, let's just say, if you are watching this show or listening and you have not seen the ending,
Too bad.
go away right now.
Go away. We
Hang
don't want
up,
to hear you. It's
turn
like
off
Abby
the radio.
Fenimore is like, thanks, Steve. You just ruined everything. Yeah, Abby, I called you out online. Oh,
And
you're
this
still
is what I
here?
said.
You're still here.
And this is what I said to Abby. If you have not watched this yet, how can you even call yourself a fan?
That's right. Abby,
19 million people tuned in on Sunday night. Where were
Abby,
you?
Abby, come lately.
What was more important, Abby?
Abby, come lately.
What? You can still watch
Oh,
it. You
all
can
right.
still watch it there. Your mom won't mind.
Damn. I feel kind of bad now.
Your mom would enjoy it.
Well, my thoughts and prayers with your mom, because I'm part of Team Jesus now. You know.
Yes,
It was,
I know
well,
that's
that's
right.
right. You know, because I'm thick.
But we gave Abby a hard time because she got mad at David because she said that
You ruined everything.
you ruined everything. But if you go anywhere near any kind of social media, you know that there were spoilers all over the place. And what's Ruben doing now?
Some colored guys in here. Ruben, I was doing a transport Uber the other day, and the guy spelled his name Rooban.
Ruben.
The fucking name is Ruban, some Indian dude.
Oh, can I do a shout out to Michaela Salon?
Do a shout out to Michaela.
No.
No, Ruban. My name is Ruban.
Ruban, right.
Michaela Salon.
Michaela gave me a keratin treatment in my hair. Look how shiny it is.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, back to Game of Thrones.
Wait a second. And it's at the hair parlor in Vincenttown, if you're looking for a great stylist.
And her name's Michaela. Very good.
Michaela, yes. All right.
Anyway, back to Game of Thrones.
Right.
So, I you know what? I love this. The cinematography, the costumes, the acting. I'm not knocking any of that.
And we know how much you love costumes.
I do. Everyone knows I like to dress up. The issues, there was a lot of unresolved issues, I felt.
Yeah.
The, what's it called? Not the visions, I can't think of words tonight.
You don't need to look at anything.
No, I do. It was a prophecy. Didn't come true.
Oh, yeah.
About the one who was meant, and then the prophecy. Did we lose our mics?
No.
They're still on?
Yeah.
Hey, Gene, did we lose our mics?
No, I can hear
I can't hear myself in my headset at all.
I hear you. Okay. I hear you.
Welcome to Hamilton Radio. There we go. No, we're back. It was really weird. I couldn't hear myself at all.
Okay.
So the prophecies, none of them came true.
What prophecies?
What was that called about the? Oh, Paulie would know about
him.
Cersei when she was a kid. Got that prophecy about.
But that did come true because all 3 of her children died.
But the brother. Remember, she was supposed to be killed by a younger brother. That never happened.
Well,
Anyway.
Well, you know what though? He was the hand of the queen who didn't stop her. You know, and Cersei and Jaime were killed as a result of her of.
I think Cersei should have gone out
Daenerys.
harder. She should have. She should have been Dracarys right to the
Yes,
face.
but if she was Dracarys, okay, then
Is that even a word, Dracarys?
no, it is our word now. It is an actual verb.
Don't mind the tissue. I have allergies, so I'm just trying.
So if she had been Dracarys, okay,
Yeah.
then Tyrion would not have been able to recognize her body.
That's fine.
No,
She
and
deserved more
think,
of what she
I
got.
think that we needed a moment for him to look at his
more of
brother
her
and sister,
siblings.
and they were,
She just was such
they
an
were-
evil,
they
evil
were
character. She
twins.
deserved. I know
Right.
she deserved more.
They were twins. They were together in more ways that they.
Oh,
couldn't have
well,
been.
okay. Tina's listening. Valongar.
Okay.
Valongar. Is that how you say Valongar? The prophecy of her younger siblings killing her. Anyway.
Okay. Well, as a result of Tyrion not stopping her from doing these things, I mean, that is what happened to the city.
All right. So let's
Yeah.
go over this. We were all shocked at the final outcome. Now there is
Yeah.
no
I was not expecting
there
it.
is no throne to sit on. It was
No.
destroyed.
It was burned up. A dragon was
by
like,
by Drogon. Drogon.
Yeah.
Is that who did it?
yeah. I'm sure that Tina will correct us if we get things wrong.
Right, but if we go back, okay, so it's Westeros is a vast continental. I can't speak tonight. Country racked with political tension. Once independent kingdoms, driven by ethnic and religious divisions, governed by a king who had no desire to rule. Once Baratheon died, that's where all the problems started.
Yeah, because that became the game.
It became a vacuum of
Yeah.
who was going to get the throne.
The actual game of, who, it was all politics if you think about it.
It was all politics.
Yeah.
It was all
and that's the whole
politics.
reason Ned was taken out the way that he was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, Drogon. Okay, Tina's commenting.
Okay, Lee, turn your sound
All
on.
right, sorry for getting names wrong. But I'm just, my head is ready to explode right now.
Okay.
I think the person who Tyrion became the most influential. I think he's the most powerful person besides Bran. Forget Bran; it's like he's king. This is when you realize that Tyrion managed to crown a king, change the entire political system, and become the second most powerful person, all whilst being on trial for treason.
Yes, and the hands are really powerful, along with the influencers,
Uh-huh.
like Varys and
Yeah, Varys met Dracarys. died a very fiery death.
Oh, yeah, but at least we didn't have to see that.
Right.
That was terrible.
What do you mean?
You didn't actually see him burn up.
No, he just saw like the
Yeah.
fire come
The
out.
fire.
So let's talk about. You want to break it down by character?
Yeah, let's do that.
So, at the end of the show, okay, Daenerys died. Daenerys had to die at the hand of Jon.
We already knew that was
We
going to happen.
knew that was going to happen.
That was not a shocker.
We called it before.
And you could really see the change in her. Well, yeah, as we were talking, like what
Do you
Tyrion
think-
said was very true. Like, she had the slave masters slaughtered by the Unsullied and, and all that kind of stuff. Like, she had gone through righteously killing people.
Right.
And we all cheered.
Remember when she felt really bad when that little girl died?
She did feel bad.
She
because
felt
she was
horrible
innocent.
about that, right?
And that's where things changed. It was we cheered when she killed people that we felt were unjust.
Correct.
And then the dragons were
What about the Tullys when she killed Samwell's father and brother?
that's when things started to get real
Right.
because even Tyrion said, you shouldn't be doing that.
Dracarys. I said Dracarys. What did I say, Tina? Anyway, thank you for correcting. All right, Tina, Dracarys. What did I say? I don't know, Dracarys.
You're thinking Dracar, my favorite.
Dracar, her cologne. If you want to smell like the 80s, get Dracar.
I love the 80s.
Right.
But wait. So there's something changed at that point because Tyrion was really saying, all this stuff, you have to bend the knee or you're going to get burned up.
Right.
Like it used to be where she would have them make a choice.
She was
like you can either come with me. I'm
slaves.
going to free. I'm going to free you. You can come with me, or you can go someplace else. She didn't want to burn up
She was
other
the
people.
breaker of chains.
Right. But then these people, they chose not to go that route, so they had to die.
Right.
And the same thing had Jon not killed her, the same thing would have happened in Winterfell. She would have gone there. She would have said to Sansa, "You need to bend the knee." And there's no
way Sansa would have bent the knee.
Sansa would have
Nope.
been like, "Mm-mm."
I thought the
And
final.
she would have Dracarys her.
Dracarys. Is that how you say Dracarys, sir?
Yeah,
Dracarys?
she would have Dracarys her
She would have
right in
set her
front of
ass
her
on
brother.
fire right in front of her
Her
brother.
and John's whole family. Well, his family that, not biological.
So
but,
you brought up Sansa. Let's talk about her. I
Yeah.
think she came full circle.
oh, most definitely.
She earned that. She was Lady of Winterfell while Jon was gone.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Like, she was a princess.
She was a princess.
She didn't want to get her hands wet. She didn't want to, Arya was out.
At one point, she was in love with Joffrey, which was I'd fucking Joffrey.
I never saw that attraction.
No.
Because she was
No.
always a pretty girl.
Yeah, she's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But she's been through so much with being married. She was married to Bolton for a time too, Ramsay Bolton.
Right.
For a time too.
Littlefinger, he had that whole thing going on. He married her off. What happened?
Nothing, just Tina chiming in. as usual.
Okay.
Tina out in Jackson. Chiming in.
So, yeah, shout out Tina. Littlefinger sold her
Yes.
to
Yes.
the Boltons.
The best
And they
thing.
made it seem like you're going to get back to Winterfell and everything like that. So go ahead and take this. It's going to be good for you.
I really enjoyed Ramsay's death. Finally, when it finally happened, his death I enjoyed. I enjoyed Joffrey's the most. That was the most satisfying for me.
That was very
Out of all,
satisfying.
it was just stood up and it's about time.
Yeah, Ramsay, he had to be put out.
Ramsay
like
was
that.
despicable. Yeah, he was.
Now, what about? Remember when the Mountain killed that guy from Dorne?
Oh, he squeezed his head.
Oh my God! I was like,
He was doing
screaming.
that.
I had the pillow in front of my face.
He
I
was
like,
doing that with his brother too. Like, how do you kill this guy? How do you kill them?
there was no way to kill him. The only thing that could be done is what the Hound did.
And tackle him and
Is tackle
go into
him,
the fire.
throw
And they
it-
both died by fire.
Now, do you think the Mountain could have survived being
No,
burned
no,
up like that?
no, absolutely. He's like a Terminator.
Yeah.
It's crazy with him.
So how did they explain how the Mountain got to be the Mountain? Like,
I don't know, Tina. Did they? How did they explain that?
I mean, he
think
looked like
missed that.
Frankenstein's monster. You know?
Yeah, he did. He looked really bad. I was
like
expecting
when-
to see Robert's head on there. Remember when they cut off Robert's head?
That was that theory.
Robert Stark, that was that
like,
theory that would be Robert's head on top of the
Yeah.
mountain's body, which would have been completely bizarre.
That would have been really weird. Right?
So Sansa really earned that. She got full arc. on
Full
that.
arc.
For everything that she went through. She
got stronger.
deserved Winterfell.
Yeah.
And now it's Six Kingdoms. Now it's
Yeah, she became her own king. But we had talked earlier saying, like,
what picture is that?
why?
I don't know.
Why, didn't, what's the girl's name who owns all the ships and stuff? Was it Theon's sister?
Theon's sister, what's her name, Tina? Come on, come through for us.
I forget her. Yara or something?
Yara?
Yara. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what stops her from saying, like, I'm going to be my own kingdom too?
Right.
Or the other guy, the Dorne guy.
Well, Dorne, here's the thing with him. All right, we'll talk. All right. First, let's go to Tyrion.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm reading off paper. I printed some stuff out to make some notes. Okay, so he was just on trial for going against Daenerys, and I thought that she was going to take him and throw him onto the Unsullied
I did too.
for taking off his badge and disrespecting her like that.
He did. He threw it.
He threw it,
And he
so,
basically was like, "You burned up little kids.
yeah,
What is wrong with you?"
yeah, she was pretty
He
much out of
kicked his
control.
hand.
So these are some top things that the first thing Bran did as becoming king was make Tyrion his hand,
Yeah.
and Tyrion didn't want it.
No, because he didn't feel like he was worthy.
He's
like, I'm on trial for
the
treason.
Dorne Prince pretty much killed the Mountain. The Meister of Cersei brought him back and made him stronger. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
That answers that question.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
But
So
is he a Frankenstein's monster? Like, why does he look like he's all like, sewed up from different parts and stuff?
he does. He definitely looks like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Back to Tyrion.
Okay.
All right. When he was handed the queen, he got utterly played by Cersei when promised to bring the army to fight the White Walkers. He wasn't able to. He was unable to prevent his queen from committing a major war crime.
Right.
More on that in a moment. Tyrion's first order of business as Bran's hand was to appoint the corrupt and unqualified Bronn of the Blackwater as master of coin is not reassuring.
Well, like my patient Walter said today, he said that Bronn is a very thrifty person.
But if you look at him, in fairness to Tyrion, he may not have a choice. Bronn is now Lord of the Reach, the breadbasket of the former Seven Kingdoms. The Reach is right in the middle.
Yeah.
Exactly, Frankenstein's monster. Okay.
Yeah.
The Reach and its many farms and fertile fields are absolutely essential to the stability of the realm, and Bronn was unquestionably in a good position to make demands, like appointment as master of the coin. During a prolonged winter, Bronn's leverage over Bran would only increase, especially now that literally half of the continent and all of its arable land has been lost to a newly independent north. So if you look at a map of Westeros, the Reach is right. It's like right center of it. It's south. I think it's south, and it's close to King's Landing. But their farmers supplied the food for those people. Let's see.
Oh, look. Here's the pictures he's got up there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's
okay.
really great.
Okay. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Okay, Yara. Do you think Yara Greyjoy, Lord of the fiercely independent Iron Island, just wasn't paying attention?
We should watch that again and look at her
yeah.
face when that happened.
And then something
Yeah.
about relying about the armies to the north and. Okay. Okay. Now remember this part. The grand compromise struck between Grey Worm and Westery nobles leaves us exactly where we began, with a weak, disinterested king played by controlling competitive nobles.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
But listen. Let me see. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to read this. Controlling competitive nobles, personal ties between leading nobles, not on a clear political system or balanced structure of power, and it will only last until those ties begin to fray. Historian Brent Sirota pointed out in an excellent Twitter thread on Monday morning. The real problem of the Seven Kingdoms is a feudal anarchy and weak governance over mighty subjects. Breaking the wheel requires more government, not less. A stronger crown, not emancipation. She got Daenerys.
They didn't even have everybody appointed yet at that table. So I think it's unfair to categorize it as weak at this point because there were still open spots that they were going to bring in people to appoint.
Right.
And they're off to a good start, in my opinion, to do it democratically instead of with nepotism, because that's how you create Joffreys. You know, so with Bran, you can't have any of that nepotism.
Well, back to Daenerys for a minute. She kills hundreds of innocent. Daenerys, once a good queen, becomes obsessed with emancipation to the point of cruelty. She was so set on getting all these kingdoms beneath her that she was willing to go that extra. Yeah. And burn them all to the ground.
Yeah.
Being separated from 6 kingdoms, like Sansa separate. That's a very good point. Tina just said, I saw an article about Yara looking puzzled, and they were assuming, can we do that? Being separated from the 6 kingdoms, like Sansa separated herself.
Yeah.
Can they do that?
I guess they can.
Okay.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't want to read that part.
But
Hold
you know
on
what, though?
second.
It's like with Daenerys, I mean, she was good at, like we talked about, she killed the people that we all thought needed to be killed.
Right.
But it started to change.
So
it started to change, I think, with Samwell's father and brother. Don't you think, or do you think it changed before that? I think that was kind of a kickoff point.
Yeah, probably.
Like because these people were not bad people, and Tyrion was trying to stop her from doing that. There was no stopping her though. Like I realize they say he failed, but what was he going to do?
What was he going to do?
What's he going to do? He's 3 feet
tall.
tall.
Does this sound weird to you? Brandon of the House Stark, the first of his name, King of the Andals and the First Men, Lord of 6 Kingdoms, and the Protector of the Realm. He commands Tyrion to become his hand.
Yeah.
It seems like a controversial decision. In fact, proof that Bran has some ideas what might make for a steady reign. It has a moral element too. It made a lot of sense for him to choose Tyrion out of all the people who survived the Great War. Tyrion is the most experienced and has managed the respect of a pretty broad swath of people. He's a remnant of the old regime for those who want continuity and no radical change, but he was never deeply involved in the Baratheon Lannister era. Remember, he was too drunk and whoring around.
Well, this is true, but he actually made some huge mistakes.
He did.
And that's why he was taking himself out of the equation because he misjudged his sister. He thought, oh, yeah, she's going to help us with the White Walkers. And no, she didn't.
Right, but even Bran acknowledged he's made many terrible mistakes. He's going to spend the rest of his life fixing them.
Yeah.
Tyrion openly admits he did not want to be hand and feels unqualified to do so. After everything that happened with his family and with Jon and Dany.
Yeah.
He would do no one any good sitting in a dungeon or exiled or even executed. Instead, as one of the most shrewdest minds left in the realm, he can do the most good by serving the new regime and helping to rebuild and atone.
Yeah. Well, were you afraid that he was going to get executed? Did you think he was going to?
I thought once he threw down his badge, I'm like, he's a dead man walking.
That's what I thought.
I thought any second.
I thought either she was going to throw him into the Unsullied,
right,
or immediately have the dragon burn him up.
Right. That's I thought that
I was
immediately.
Like, I was high. Did you see my face? I was like, oh no.
Right.
Like I'm like, oh no. So I did not expect her to say, take him.
But Tyrion has surrounded himself and his new king with some of the best of Westeros. In his farewell to Jon, okay, Bubba, he said something else. Hold on. He has Brienne of Tarth.
Who does?
Bran.
Not really. She's going to go with Sansa.
No, do you think so?
Oh no! Oh, you know what? No, she was at that round table.
She was at the round table.
Yeah, so I guess she's
Bronn.
Did you notice that she was wearing different armor?
Yes.
Yeah, like shinier armor.
Tina, what does that mean? 'Cause she's a newly appointed knight?
I think that means she's like the knight because that's what Jamie used to wear.
Oh, I think, yeah.
That shiny stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he must be like she must be like the knight to the king, right? What's that called?
I'm reading about it in a minute.
What'd she say?
I still think Tyrion is a Targaryen. How was he able to touch the dragons? That's true, too.
Yeah. It could be. Do you think, Tina, that that's why the dragon didn't burn up Jon? You know? Like, do you think it's because he's a Targaryen?
No, she's the war advisor. Brienne of Tarth is the
Okay.
war advisor.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying. Keep
But
talking. I'm trying to find something.
I think that maybe that's why the dragon. Because did you think that Jon was going to get burned up by the dragon when?
I did.
I did too. And the dragon looked right at him, and was like, "You're dead."
Right.
But then changed his mind, you know, and
burned the chair.
And, killed the chair. Right.
But I'm looking for something. Yeah, for sure. That's what Tina said.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he knew he was a Taragian.
Here it is.
Sorry.
All right. So, Bronn is the Lord of the High Garden and Master of Corn.
Yeah.
Master of Corn. Master of Corn.
Of porn?
Of porn. I'm the Master of Porn.
I know that's right.
Oh, look who it is. Look who's on the screen. You fucking douche.
God. I feel bad for him as an actor.
Sir Davos.
Like, what kind of job is he going to get now?
I know. Sir Davos as Master of Ships. Samuel Tully achieving his dream as Grand Maester.
Wait, let's talk about Sir Davos. I mean, this is a man I love.
Davos?
Yeah.
He really did. He made it through every major battle.
And he can't even fight.
Like unscathed. And he can't fight. Like that.
I mean, and the way he had love for that little girl.
Yeah.
With the little messed up face.
Yes. Oh, what was her name? The one that was sacrificed. Stannis' daughter.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was one of the worst scenes ever.
It was terrible. She was screaming. That was
terrible.
All right, so he's Grand Maester. Did I say Sir Brienne as Lord Commander of the King's Guard?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what it was. The King's Guard.
And most important member of the council.
Okay. Yeah.
The best of Westeros. In his farewell to Jon, he hints that there is not a good reason for that. He doesn't want to be hand forever. Okay, now let's talk about Jon.
Okay.
Jon's exit.
Well, let's talk about his whole circle. Because
Okay.
we met him
As a bastard.
We met him right in the first episode. You know.
All right. Tina said, "I don't think Drogon would have killed Jon. He's a Targaryen."
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Drogon truly knew that was Dany's downfall was the throne. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very, very
You know
true.
what? You know that scene when, like, she's with your guy. You know,
Who?
her husband,
Who?
Jason Momoa.
Oh, Drago?
Yeah.
Your guy.
You know.
Stupid.
So you know that scene when she's like goes to the other girl and she's like, "Can you teach me how to have sex?" Right? That scene.
Right.
So I'm watching that with my son. Right? I paused it. I go, I don't think we can watch this together. We're going to fast forward through this.
So, Jon was transported from King's Landing to the Wall by 2 members of the Night's Watch.
Wait, I want to go back to when we first met Jon.
Okay, so he was young. He was a bastard.
Yeah, he was a bastard, and
So they thought.
And like, what was Ned's wife's name? They got her neck cut.
Lyanna?
Was that
No.
her name? I
Was
don't
that her
know.
name? Ned Stark's wife. What was her name? Tina. We forgot.
We're not good with the names.
We're not good with the names right now.
Okay, she was mean to him.
She was, because
I know.
imagine if your husband goes away to war and comes home with yet another bastard.
Yeah.
Dave,
What?
his wife's name was Catelyn Stark.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
It's like a voice. It's like God talking
It's
to
like
us.
an angel's voice comes across the air.
All right, so her name was Catelyn, right? And she had a thing with Littlefinger a little bit. Something like that. Something that happened over there.
That. Yeah.
But yeah, she was mean to the
Right.
the John. You know.
Well, he was a bastard. The guy, goes out to war and brings home another kid.
I know, and then how to keep that secret,
Right.
like even from his wife,
Right.
and say like, listen, we got to act like he's a bastard, but really he's not mine. He never even told her. He protected that kid.
We're all killing her. We don't know names. We just
What's that?
we forget. Tina's like, you're all killing me.
No, we need help.
All right, we need
the
help with
names.
that. We're just like,
So he was having a hard time, and wasn't it him who helped Aya shoot the arrows and stuff like that?
yeah. And
Yeah.
Aya got it, and Bran missed.
Yeah.
That's when Bran was cute. We'll get back to Bran in a second. That's when he was cute. He was a cute kid
So
before he
knew
fell off the
right
fucking
away,
roof.
like this girl's she's gonna beat some
yeah.
ass. But he was like that, and you could tell like even back then he was a moral guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He tried to do everything. Like he reminded me a lot of Ned. I mean, that's from being raised by Ned Stark.
So why
was
did
honorable.
so the going to the Night's Watch, that was for bastards, and like they said that, like that's why he went there.
Yeah, I think he decided that would be best.
Yeah, but then you go there and you can never reproduce, never
Right,
have children.
Right.
You know?
Then
I guess you can
then he fell in
fool
love with
around, but you can't get anybody pregnant.
Yeah, a little bit
What
of that.
kind of birth
you could
control?
have that man love back
What
then.
kind of birth control can you have?
You think that the Night's Guard isn't fucking
They didn't
each
say,
other?
I don't think. Oh, you think they were doing the whole Roman thing?
I think so.
I don't know about that. They were very poor hygiene up there.
You stink. Well, you stink too.
No showers or anything. So wait, but all those wildling girls, they were hooking up,
Oh, they're hooking up.
but they're not allowed to get them pregnant.
Right. So
Yeah.
just pull out.
That's not effective.
I don't think they had Game of Thrones condoms back then. I don't know what the birth control was.
Maybe they use sheepskin, like that goes way back.
That goes way back. Yeah. I think the Night's Watch were fucking each other. What else
There's
did they
no
do?
evidence of that happening.
They didn't show it, but they didn't show a
I
lot.
don't
But they're
know.
not going to show.
They showed a lot.
They're not going to show like a
There was
Night
not-
Watch orgy
There was no.
with feathers ruffling
There was
everywhere.
no representation of
Furs
anything
going
gay in that
everywhere.
show. As
Keep
far
it
as I
warm.
could see.
It's cold out there. What are you going to do?
I mean,
Sucking-
I see your point.
Sucking some dick? Whatever. Whatever gets you through the night. You're welcome, Gene. So
I mean, it is
had to
cold.
go there.
It is cold.
it is cold. You
That's
got to
right.
give guys some
How do you
credit.
know what happened on Brokeback Mountain?
Oh, I didn't even watch that. I can't watch no gay cowboys. We're talking about gay, like, men, the Night's Watch. All right. Can we
Yeah,
talk about
so
John
anyway,
now?
so that's why he went up there. No, not to be gay, but he went up there because he was a bastard.
This is the gay watch? Where are women at? There ain't no women here.
But there were women, obviously, because he had a little thing with what was her name with the Y? Deirdre or whatever. What's her name?
Look at Tina. She's like, ah. All right, let's talk about John.
Right. So he had a little fling with a red hair girl.
What was her name? The one he married.
Ygritte.
Ygritte.
Yeah, but she didn't marry her.
Yeah, but she was a wildling. He married her in real life.
Oh, I know that. We're not talking about that right now.
Talk about hooking up with a wildling.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do? You fall in love? You see a redheaded chick? Do you blame a girl had red hair? You blame her?
No.
Right?
that's
You
for
blame
sure.
her?
She
Right?
was a little
That's
bit.
what I'm saying.
She was a little fiery.
All right, let's talk about John. I'm gonna read
We
this.
are talking about him.
I know, but you're talking about gay fucking sex with wildlings.
You brought up the gay part.
All right.
Because
That
I
was
mean,
me.
because you think
This
of Jason Momoa.
Gone way off the rails. Ygritte, that was your name. Kind of name is
Ygritte.
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 Okay.
Remember, she's the one who said, "You know nothing,
Jon
Jon
Snow.
Right.
And then she shot at him 3 times.
She did. She kept trying to kill him. That was
Right.
pretty hot, though. You
Right.
like that?
Right, he's turned on by that. Stupid. All right, let me read this real quick. If I can read. John was transported from King's Landing to the Wall by 2 members of the Night's Watch, whose numbers are minuscule after many died fighting the Battle of Winterfell. Waiting for him, there was Tormund and the Wildlings, many of them old men, women, and children. Tormund had told John they'd stay at Castle Black until the winter storm passed, roughly half a year earlier. When he arrived at Castle Black, John was wearing his Stark clothing, but soon was back in his Black Knight's Watch garb. He also appeared to have been reappointed as Lord Commander, as we saw him standing on a raised platform above the mixed group of wildlings and fellow brothers in the courtyard. It makes sense that he was the leader again after Star-Crossed Ed died fighting the dead. And he walked through, but there's no more enemies. So he walked through, and what did I read? Let's see. When John walked through the crowd, the wildlings and his fellow brothers parted for him with reverence. John saved the free folk by letting them come through the wall. And without his efforts to unite everyone at Winterfell, the Night's Watch and the world would have fallen to the White Walkers. Everyone there knew what John had done for them, and he was murdered at that very castle and sent back there after killing Daenerys. All for doing the right thing. If any two groups know John got a raw deal with a sentence, it was the Wildlings and Night Watch. The final scene show proved that. But I don't think he got a raw deal.
I don't think he got a raw deal either. I think this is exactly what he wanted.
When the gates
First
shut...
of all, having Tormund as your best friend is a great deal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because first of all, I mean, the story.
He sucked a giant woman's tit.
He did. That's how he got so strong.
That's how he got so strong. He killed a giant and then sucked his tit. She
thought
thought he was a
baby.
baby. Oh, bearded bitch sucked a giant's tit right now.
He said he was when he was 10. I don't think he had a beard when he was 10.
Giant. He probably did.
Yeah, he might have. He might have.
Sucked a giant's tit. The fuck?
He said she suckled him.
Suckled him.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a baby.
Remember when the gate closed? He looked back. They were letting John go. They know he didn't deserve the fate of living at the wall, defending Westeros against nobody. His brothers were thanking him for everything he had done for them and the Seven Kingdoms by freeing him any responsibilities of it.
Yeah.
He never wanted to be king. He never wanted that. He didn't.
If he had wanted that, he would have said to Daenerys, I'm a Targaryen, you're a Targaryen, we do this together.
But she didn't want that. She wanted soul power.
I think that she would have gone for it. I really do. She loved him. I think if he would have been, I think if he would have said that and said, we do this together as a team, I think she might have.
But other people wasn't Varys sending out notes?
Yeah, but we didn't even know what happened with that. Who got a note?
I know.
What kind of scene was that? That's bullshit.
There's a lot of...
He had rolled up notes sitting there, and then he had a different one that he burned.
Right.
And then you had that theory that maybe they were trying to poison her.
That's what they said. Remember, he liked to use kids because of their innocence, and they listen, and no one suspects a kid. So when that little kid came in and said, "Oh, she's not eating again," okay, we'll try again at dinner. He was trying to assassinate Daenerys.
That could be.
Who is so far gone.
Yeah.
Again,
because he pretty much knew after he wrote that first note, he's a dead man. Yeah. They're going to find out that he said it. So
he was the only whisperer left. And there's a whole big thing about Varys. It's called 43 things that make up Varys and how deceptive and whatever he was and how he became like the eunuch and all that. So
who do you think was more deceptive and dishonest, like Varys or Littlefinger? Littlefinger. Well, Littlefinger had the whole thing turning sisters against each other. Yeah. He threw that the Catelyn's sister down the hole.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was bad. She was an ugly bitch, though.
Yeah, she was. So it would make a difference if she was good looking.
Right.
You ugly bitch, you go down the hole right now.
She was, and her son, he had to go down with her.
Right.
Whatever happened to him?
He was. I think he was there at the end.
Oh, you do?
I think Tina, am I right? Wasn't he there? He's all grown up now. He's like 20 years old. I think he was there in armor, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am.
But maybe
he was there. We gotta watch an episode again.
Why was this not explained?
There's a lot of loose ends. Now let's talk about...
I didn't recognize some of the people in there, but yeah, I guess that would make sense because he's like a lord, I guess, right?
Let's talk about the most annoying character on the show.
Well, he was one of them.
He was definitely one of them. Well, he wanted to always breastfeed his mom. The kid was like 10 years old.
And she enjoyed that.
And she loved that.
She did.
She did. Ugly
she was an ugly bitch.
Damn.
She was.
Bran. After he got thrown out the window...
What's that say?
He was there at the end, see?
Oh.
He's older now, see? Okay. Yep, he was there at the end. He's 20 years old now. All right.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
So let's discuss Bran, shall we?
Okay.
I think everyone gasped all at once.
Yeah.
And damn, Twitter blew up with thirst tweets.
What?
With thirst tweets? I guess because the kid was always sucking on his mom's titty. Is that what you mean, Tina? Maybe. Anyway, Bran. Mm-hmm. Cute kid. First episode.
He was really cute.
Then
and he had to watch his father chop a head off.
Yeah. So
You know?
that was pretty brutal. Anyway.
I mean, that was pretty traumatic.
As time went on, Bran became creepier. Hey, I know he had that one part when he went to go visit that third-eyed raven guru, and that whole thing was fucking stupid. Every time I saw it, I'm like, it was plotless. It was completely stupid.
I mean, that must be like I fell asleep through some of the episodes, so I think I slept through some of that. But I guess they needed to explain the Children of the Forest a little bit, but they didn't really fully explain.
I know they go deeper with Bran in the books, like you were saying, Tina. She's chiming in.
Yeah.
They should have gone deeper. Oh.
What?
Oh, they thought he was hot. Oh, yeah. He's hot now. The actor.
He's hot?
Yeah, the
Bran
little
is?
kid. No, the little kid that grew up.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Oh, Marty's interested.
I'm gonna have to look him up.
Right. Little kid who sucked on tit in Game of Thrones. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Tina, post a picture of him. I forgot what his name was. Bran.
Yeah.
One of the most useless characters ever developed.
Well,
I'm sure they explain it more in the book.
I guess so, but having him being pushed out the window was an essential part of the story,
With the Children of the Forest. We have to watch those episodes again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know. I saw those. I know what you're talking. I know. He knows the stories. I understand that, but it's just I can't think of anyone else who could have become king. To be honest.
And true. Also, when he sat there and waited for the Night King without any fear, and then he told Theon that he was a good man.
Right.
That meant some shit to him.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying on the drive over here. He died a hero's death, Theon, and really he had no penis. I mean, he was a depressed person.
Right.
He felt worthless. He was the reek, and then Bran, did that for him. That was a damn good thing to do.
I know. Keep talking. I'm looking up something real quick.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not completely upset with the ending. I'm not.
You don't think that it was rushed?
Well, it was rushed, yes, okay, but I think that the characters wrapped up pretty nice. I really do.
Do you really? Do you think so?
I do. I really do think that.
I think that Ari's going to get her own show.
That could be and there's no way that she could have been queen because, first of all, the Gendry guy,
Yeah.
he was like, in love with her after that. And, he offered her that to be the lady of the castle.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to stay in one place. She had her dreams.
All right, here it is. It was hard watching the finale, not to shout, but this doesn't solve anything. The grand compromise struck between Grey Worm and the Westerosi nobles leaves us exactly where we began, with a weak and disinterested king played by controlling competitive nobles ruling over largely independent policies.
Yeah, I heard about this before.
I know, I'm just saying.
I don't agree with that at all.
Bran's position's even worse than Robert's. He doesn't have a nominal heir. His kingdom is vastly smaller and devastated by recent wars.
Yeah.
His nobles have seen in living memory how easy it is to assert themselves, and there's an army of impeccably trained, unique soldiers who hate his guts hanging out on a small tropical island nearby. So what's going to happen to Bran's reign? What will happen when he dies?
Well, the reason they picked him is because they don't want nepotism. They don't want a Joffrey. So this is a bizarre conversation that this website's having. Because it's like they didn't even watch it at all.
Oh.
They picked him for the sole reason that he can't appoint, a family member,
Right. I know.
They have to use the council to elect, and they even kind of joked and said, like, well, why don't we just give everybody a vote? The one guy said, and then they all kind of laughed at him. Why don't we let the dogs and cats vote?
Well, Westeros may have achieved an uneasy peace, but is one that rests close personal ties with leading nobles, not on clear political system or a balanced structure of power. So until they'll start to fray, you're back where you started in season 1. The wheel's broken for now, and and Winterfell broke away.
See, I'm an optimist. I think that is the right direction to go in, is not to do the whole, we need to have an heir, to.
You think it should be voted on by the people?
But
is it better for the Westeros nobles, or is it better for the common people? The common people don't really care.
I'm not a student of history as far as how the ancient Greeks did it and Romans and stuff, but perhaps that's where democracy first started, was there, and maybe it was just voting by the nobles. The nobles voted first,
Right, you have the council, and then it expands.
And if you think about it, it was kind of like that here. Not everybody got a vote here either.
Right.
Women weren't able to vote. Black
Slaves
people,
weren't able to vote.
right, were not able to vote. I mean, of course, black people were able to vote before women did, but not everybody. And also, it was only landowners here who got to vote.
Right.
For the longest time. So democracy sometimes starts small.
So the feudal system of having an heir take over.
Yeah, they decided to be done with that.
That's in the past. That's going to be done.
In the past.
That'll be a council. They'll have different. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because look what happened. You had Baratheon. He died. These children that he supposedly had weren't even his.
The Targaryens, he died. He was killed. He was killed by Jaime.
Yes, and then they had to hide the heirs.
Ned was killed by the Lannisters. No, was it by Joffrey Lannister?
Yeah. Yeah, so
I see now. I see it now. Becoming a king with that or a queen, would that be a lifelong appointment until you die, and then they have a new election? Is that how it would go?
Perhaps, yeah, or until maybe they, until maybe they are.
I know we're all speculating and wondering what's going on. Just stuff going on in our heads, right? Okay, now it just seems.
That's why I said I don't think it was a bad way to end it, because really Bran is not power hungry, He
doesn't want.
No,
he doesn't want.
He's just there. He's just like not a lot of personality.
But Tyrion,
there.
I think, is the most powerful person in
I do
in
too.
Westeros.
I think Hands of the Kings are very powerful
because they don't want to do a lot of the things that the king, like Baratheon, didn't want to. I don't want to. You're my hand. You take care of that. You fight my battle.
Yeah.
I'll get the credit because you're my hand, and I'm ordering you to do that. But I don't want to do it.
And but that was the downfall of the whole thing. If Ned would have said, nah, I don't really feel like going to King's Landing.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah. Twitter blew up. They were saying, why do you think I came all this way? Mira Reed, Hodor, and everyone else who carried Bran's ass since the first season. That's true. That's how you got there.
Well, that's the whole thing, too. So that's what I was talking about today with Walter. Where he said that, so he pretty much knew what was going to happen. He knew that they were going to make him king. That's why he was there.
Tyrion, who has a better story than Bran? Literally everyone.
As far as we're concerned, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Bran. Can we talk about Brienne?
Wait. Bran, I'm not the Lord of Winterfell. Tyrion, you don't want it? I really don't want any more. 3 episodes later, Tyrion, if we choose you, will you wear the crown? Bran, why do you think I came all this way?
Oh, so he was for bigger fish to fry.
Right.
Yeah, but now he's the king of a broke-ass city. I mean, how are they going to rebuild that?
A burnt-out city.
Their people are all burnt up, The horses are all burned up. The buildings are all knocked down. I mean... Yeah, that's...
here he is. Here's his kid.
Yeah, okay.
So look at him now.
He's kind of hot.
Right, here is him sucking the tit of his mom.
That was a titty sucker.
He's a titty sucker. And now he's,
Yeah, okay, all right. I see him there. Now, is he aware that his mother got thrown down the hole?
Yeah, he knew his mom got thrown down the hole.
Well...
He was looking for mommy's tit, I think she meant why he was at the meeting. Things he meant. But at least, you know what? It started with the Starks and it ended with the Starks.
Exactly.
So they came full circle with that.
It did.
How many Stark children were there? No, what's his name?
There's Rob and Sansa and Aya. Remember how many wolves they gave out in the beginning?
4?
They gave out 4 or 5.
The wolf thing was never solved either. Why did Arya's wolf meet up with her in the woods, and then you never saw him again?
Well, he went off and did wolf things with the other wolf.
Yeah.
He had a whole pack that he
I know.
So, and she obviously missed that wolf.
So
But he was like, and you know what? He protected her too. Like he looked at the other wolves like, we're not going to mess her up.
Now you want to talk about Brienne?
Yeah.
What about her?
So what a great story that whole thing was with her.
Oh, yeah.
You know, here's a badass bitch.
5. There were 5 wolves.
5. That's
She
what I
is
thought.
on
5.
the ball tonight.
Yeah, I thought there was 5. Yeah, there's 5 wolves. One for each kid. That was very early into the show.
Very,
when
very
that
early into
happened.
the show, yeah.
Wasn't that sad what happened with Rob and his wolf? Oh, that's one of the worst parts of the show when they beheaded the wolf and beheaded him.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't they put his head on the wolf's body or vice versa? I mean, it was awful.
Terrible.
Anyway, Brienne, we got a girl who kicks ass, What?
Rob, Bran, Rickon, Ira, and Sansa.
Yeah.
And Jon, 6.
Oh, okay, 6. Okay.
She's on the ball. She listens to every word. She's on the ball.
That's right. Yeah. So, she starts out, incredible fighter and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Who?
Lady Brienne.
Brienne, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
best part.
It's a man's world.
The best part was when she got knighted by Jaime.
Oh, that was just
That was
beautiful.
full circle with their relationship.
That made me just get my hair stand up on end.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember they were fighting, and then he protected her, and he gave
When
her
they
the sword, right?
when the captives were gonna rape her.
Yeah.
Like he defended her
Yeah, he did.
and lost his hand.
Lost his hand.
Yeah.
And then that metal hand looked heavy.
It did look heavy.
Yeah, that was hard. And since then he was a broken man.
He was a broken man.
And you know what? Remember how he was good looking in the first episode, and by the end of it had aged.
He aged.
You know?
Well, you're going through something like that, you know.
Yeah, he had aged, right?
Look
he
how-
wasn't lost.
Look
I
how
loved him in
Tyrion.
that.
Look how Tyrion aged. Also, look at how they all aged.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
I think that Cersei should have had a harsher death, though.
Well, like I said, I think that moment of Tyrion looking down and seeing his brother and sister, who were twins in the womb together,
Right.
laying with each other,
Yeah.
was a moment.
It was a moment.
Like we needed to see. We needed to know for sure that they were dead too.
Right.
Because the bricks fell on them.
Doesn't mean,
I mean,
the
we didn't
brooks
really-
that we didn't really see if they hit
We
them.
didn't really see that. We didn't see them getting hit on the head by the bricks.
Right.
We didn't really know. There's always a chance, like, what happened to them? Did they escape? Well, now we know.
Who was
They
your
did
favorite character of all? You can name 2.
not. My favorite character.
Tina, who were yours?
Let's see.
For me,
I like Aya.
Aya's awesome.
Yeah. I
Besides
like
a
Aya.
Stark. Don't be obvious. Besides a Stark.
Don't be obvious. Okay.
Besides a Stark.
Okay.
Mine was the Hound.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Hound and Tyrion.
I like Podrick.
I like Podrick too.
Yeah.
Podrick became a knight at the end.
Yeah, he did.
He deserved it.
Now, what about Brienne sleeping with Jaime? Did that really necessarily have to happen? And then it kind of really showed her being very vulnerable.
Yeah, she didn't. She didn't have her armor on. She had a broken heart.
She had a broken heart.
She really thinks they could have had a future.
Yeah, but no, he had to.
He had to go see
He was-
Cersei one more time.
He was pulled like a magnet
He was
back
pulled.
to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause she manipulated him all his
Brienne
life.
knew that was the last time she was going to see him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah,
very
heartbroken.
prophetic when Drogon carried away Daenerys.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And when they melted the throne, that was. I just felt rushed to me. It
Well, I
felt-
think this is, like Paulie said, this could have been a season or two, It really could have.
Jaime, Tyrion, Jon, Arya, Brienne, and the ending ruined Dany for me.
Well, as we
Yeah.
talked about, there was a progression there. And
That's her favorites. Okay, Jaime, Tyrion, Jon, Arya,
Yeah.
And of course, Tremont. I mean, who doesn't love Tremont? He sucked on a giant's tit and became so strong.
I did. I think he's in my top. He's in my top 3.
Tremont is awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a Tremont.
And remember, he was like, "Where's the big woman at?"
Is the big woman around? He was very.
And then he was like, "I would knight you 10 times over."
10 times over.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he was really good. He was really a solid character. Yeah. I did like Samwell.
Yeah.
I liked him. I liked that he went full circle. Also became a Meister.
And let's talk about it's interesting the role of women in Game
Hold
of
on,
Thrones.
hey Gene, only 5 more minutes, all right? Okay.
Okay, the role of women in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Women having power.
Very strong women.
Yeah, very strong women. I mean, they had traditions and things like that, but women can rule a country there.
Very, very strong women. Were respected. What was her name? Liana, the little girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was a badass.
She was a badass. She's like, I'll go myself.
And she was.
Like, you're 10 years old.
She was his niece. Oh, I can't remember names tonight.
Sir Davros? Oh no. Which one? If they were related. Jorah.
Jorah.
Yeah, they were related.
That was Jorah's niece. But from the first time she came on, I was like, damn, this bitch is she's awesome. She's
now,
10 years old.
Let me ask you a question, and Tina too.
Tina too.
Do you think that had Jorah survived, do you think he could have prevented Dany from tearing the place up? I don't think he could have.
She lost so much. She lost 2 of her kids. She lost all the men she ever loved. How many times was she married? Twice? 3 times? Twice?
Yeah.
No, once to Drago.
Yeah, she had a fling with the other guy. I don't remember what happened to him. She had a fling with a guy.
Oh, that guy, the guy with the yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know what happened to him.
I don't think she killed him or something, but I don't know where he went.
I think there's George R. Martin. She's from Bear Island.
Who?
The little girl.
Oh, okay.
She was really good. She was really good.
So I don't think Jordan could have stopped her. You
think Jordan could have stopped her? I don't know. No, probably she was too far gone.
And he was all sweating her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had everybody else but him.
I think Jorah would have tried to talk her out of it.
I do too, but I don't think she would have listened.
No, there was no turning back.
No.
Didn't the Targaryens build King's Landing?
I think so.
Yeah, the guy at Marine. She's good. Are you looking these up, or are you this is off the top of your head? You're amazing with this.
I think she.
We got to get together with Tina and play some Game of Thrones trivia.
No, I think that the Targaryens built King's Landing because there was a dragon place.
He's still there, Marine. All right, he's still there.
Oh, okay.
Remember the Battle of Marine?
Oh, yeah.
The guy with the golden masks and everything? And that
guy, right. He was hot, too.
He was hot, yeah.
Yeah, you think
I just say that out there, dude. That's not gay for a second. What? Talking about Night's Watch, sucking dick. Now we're like, yeah, he was hot. I'm like, what?
Because I brought up Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. I was like, damn, who the hell is that? We've had this gay moment. Damn.
Damn, David.
You want to be Jason Momoa tonight? Sure.
Tonight you can be Jason. I'll be Jason Momoa.
I'll be Jason. I'll be Daenerys.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
Flip me over.
That's right.
What? Stupid. So I think there's going to be a spin-off with Arya.
Well, there are spin-offs coming on.
And your son gave me the first Game of Thrones book, so I have to...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, David's going to actually read.
I know. We're going to take time at night, and I'm going to... About 10 minutes at night, and we're going to read.
Well, we can make longer than 10 minutes.
We can do longer.
Yeah.
In between sex.
No. We don't have sex during the week.
Which we do sometimes.
No, we don't.
Okay, anyway. So overall, visually stunning. Oh, I've seen every episode 10 times over. Targaryens did build the castle in King's Landing.
Yeah, I figured they did.
But they originated in Valyria. Vagina? Valyria.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said vagina.
Yeah.
That's my perverted mind. Holy shut the fuck up, Dave.
Oh
but overall, the show was amazing.
Yes, it was. And I think people need to chill the fuck out.
Right.
You know?
The petition is stupid. They're not going to rewrite it. Listen.
They're not going to rewrite your own goddamn show. And I get really insulted by this because I feel like this show was years and years of great writing, like nothing we had ever seen before.
The effects,
People are
everything.
completely unappreciative of all that.
She said TMI.
People are completely unappreciative of all the years that the show
Look,
gave
we've all
us.
been disappointed. Like, listen, I was disappointed how The Sopranos ended. So were hundreds of thousands of other people.
I saw a Nick Cage movie one time, City of Angels, if
Yeah.
anybody has seen that movie. And, you know, at the end, it was so horrible. I ran out of the movie theater like, what the hell just happened?
Valeria's in Essos. That's another country. That's like
Oh, yeah,
Europe.
Essos,
That's
right.
like Europe compared to us, right? That's like compared to.
Yeah,
And Westeros is like America.
yeah.
Gotcha. But
Yeah, so people need to chill out.
I'm disappointed how Star Wars went. I'm not writing to whoever owns Star Wars now, Disney, and be like, oh, you got to rewrite it because it didn't have the ending that I wanted.
Right.
This is life. This is life. This is what happens. Did we expect
Life can be
Bran?
disappointing,
Did we
but
expect Bran to become king? No, nobody did.
But
Did we
that's
get
what
played?
happened.
Yeah, we all got played, and we all were hoping for.
and you know
the
what?
prophecy to
And
be
I think
fulfilled.
also the writers were trying to trip everybody up because the obvious choices. You know, we're like, oh, Jon Snow will
gonna be- yeah, it's
will
gonna be
king,
Jon.
or they'll be king and queen together. Oh, they're going to live happily ever after.
This is
Like,
Game of
you know,
Thrones.
this is-
Nothing ends happy.
No, and this is the thing. It's like, you know, those were. I mean, when it was first happening, you and I were both thinking, like, wow, this is really a lot of chemistry here.
You know what it is? There were probably Game of Thrones trolls putting up like fake articles and shit. There probably were.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh,
think
yeah, yeah. And so it's their job to trip us all up. I mean, that's what makes a good show.
Right.
And the fact that everybody's talking about it, and that's a whole nother thing, too, is like negative press is still press.
Well, kind
And
of
they
like when
need
the
this to fall into the next series.
when the Starbucks coffee cup was left on the table. Starbucks got 250. Okay.
Well,
Westeros is like England, I believe. Essos is like Russia, Asia.
okay.
Okay. Well, we were looking at a map before
We
we,
don't know
got here.
geography at all. We don't know where things are.
We don't even know what stuff is in America.
No.
Like we know what
I don't know what's-
Stumblefuckistan down
I don't
south
know.
and
We don't go south or
you know
west.
fuck your sister down in Alabama, whatever that.
We don't go to those shit kicker states.
Which, Westeros, England, Scotland, Ireland, Spain. I gotcha.
We
Okay.
don't even know what the order of states are.
I'll send you a map. Thanks, Tina. She's like, she's like Westeros on the spot over here.
You know, probably was like learning geography. He'd be like, what's next to Colorado? I'm like, I don't know. Georgia? I don't even know.
Utah, you
I don't
idiot.
know.
Is it Utah?
I don't know what's next to Colorado. Why do I need to know that?
All right. We don't need to know that. But anyway, we're going to wrap up. But I'm thankful for you that you got me into Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I
you're
think
welcome.
it was
It's something
not-
that we had together.
not
you know?
not life changing, but like it just you've never seen anything like this on television.
Well, before we go, I want to talk Red Wedding just for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So Tina, you're gonna like this.
So let me explain, okay? So, you know, David's binge watching. David's between jobs. David has been binge watching Game of Thrones and binging it. And he's calling me up like he cannot believe this show. Oh my God, it's amazing and other things. So then he's telling me, he said, there's about to be a wedding and Rob's wife is pregnant, and he's going on and on and on about that. So of course I know what's going to happen.
Right.
So like I said, okay, well listen, you watch this episode and just call me afterwards. And he's like, okay. Ring, ring.
I called her up. I'm like, oh my fucking god!
No, this is your oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe that even happened.
Now,
And
now
I'm
if you
very
get me to The
proud-
Walking Dead, I
Well,
don't
we're
think
gonna
that's
get into
gonna
Walking Dead. I couldn't even believe, you know, like you're like, I can't believe they did that. But I'm very proud of you for never reading ahead. Never.
No, I didn't.
Because
I
you
didn't.
do that sometimes. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you do a whole investigating on the Wikipedia, and you do this with these
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
But you never did it with Game of Thrones. I'm really
Now,
proud of you for
now
that.
I am. In the last season, I have been like reading.
No, you've been because you know everything that happened. But
Right.
you didn't read ahead to try to find
No,
out any spoilers.
no.
Like you allowed it to happen, and you didn't have to wait a year between seasons.
Right.
So that was really good. Very good of you.
Oh, I remember when you watched the Red Wedding favorite episode. Yeah, one time the
God.
guy pulled up his armor. I'm like, and they changed the music and they locked the doors. I'm like, oh.
And I did have a great revenge to that. I mean, I thought that was amazing.
Oh, when she killed
revenge.
when she became the bane of the phrase,
Yeah.
and she's like, drink your wine and do this, and you
Yeah, they
know,
all started throwing up blood.
also
and everything.
throwing up.
Right, and then she gave him like the food that was like made out of his sons or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was for real. That reminded me of War of the Roses, a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
What time is it?
10:46.
Yes.
So we're about time.
Yeah, we're about time.
Tina, thank you for chiming in, being our one and only listener tonight. I think we had somebody else, probably not. They probably lost interest, but I don't really give a shit.
No, I don't think so. I think we're just on late at night.
Yeah, late
we
at
don't
night
get a
on
whole
a
lot of
Tuesday.
viewers.
So it is what it is. Next week 2 weeks we're having on Jeff Mock.
Yeah.
He has an Evil Expo coming up, all about evil characters from literature, and he's having a whole expo.
Nina Harker.
Are you?
Yes, I'm going to be Nina Harker.
I'm going to shave off my mustache. I'm going to be a vampire, like a male vampire.
Why can't you be a mustached vampire?
Because I got to look younger. Anyway.
Oh.
And then
we can dye it with shoe polish.
Shut up your face. And then we're having like Matt D'Elia come on, and Rob Lotta, and hopefully Pete's coming out too.
Wait a second.
What? Talk about the
Pete.
movies.
Pete's
Remember Pete? Yeah. The sound effects, the voice and stuff. Yeah. Kind of like Mr. Bean.
You know what? I want to get him to record some stuff for us.
All right. We'll see if Pete can come. All right.
He talks like a German. I love it.
He does.
Yeah.
He doesn't do my Russian like David. What are you doing in there?
You know what? You should have a conversation with him in Russian, and he could talk back to you in German.
There you go. We'll do that.
You have an argument.
Gene wants to go because he's old, and thank you for working.
David! Oh my God. I'm sorry, Gene. He's an idiot.
Ice is probably coming for Ruben.
Ice? ISIS?
ISIS. Not ISIS.
I thought you said ISIS.
Ice.
Oh, okay.
Deport him back to wherever he's from. No, I'm kidding, Ruben. So that's it. So we'll be back in like 2 weeks.
Back in 2 weeks.
And that's it. All right. Thank you, Tina, for chiming in and being our one and only listener. And that's it.
Okay.
All right. We're done. Sorry.